Hey everybody, TBC here. Today it's time for the next installment of my little Rangers leveling path here on the Oakwynd server. Do you remember last time? We pretty much finished up in Crushbone. It went really fast in that zone. We were lucky, we got the throne room camp and the XP quickly came in, not so much in the way of loot, but we did get a fire beat alive for Flame Lake, which is fantastic. So now it's time to move on to our next camp, and where the group decided to go was to Unrest, which is very typical. Not a zone that I'm always found like raving about going to, because I've been to it so many times pretty much on every TLP. It's always super overcrowded, there's loads of picks, there's loads of groups hanging around that zone, but as you'll see here, we managed to get through it. So without further ado, let's get right on into the video. So I suppose the good thing about going to Unrest from Crushbone is that it's not actually all that far. It's just a quick run through Greater Fae, you're skirting a little bit of Butcher Block and into Dagnar's Cauldron. So Dagnar's Cauldron has this really absurdly long, windy tunnel. Don't know why they designed it like that, but they did. If you have anyone following you, they're gonna get stuck on the trees, on the edges. It's an annoyance that anytime you go into Unrest or to do Finny that you have to battle through. And when you get through the tunnel, you're encountering the big open blueness that is Dagnar's Cauldron. Now, if you're heading to Unrest, a few things to be aware of. There are some slightly high level goblins that will attack you, so give them a wide berth. And also, if you're an evil race, watch out for the camp of goody dwarfs, because they will come after you as well. So stick around the edges and into the Unrest. So when we got to Unrest, all that was left of the group from Crushbone was myself, the ranger, and Oakwynd, the rogue. So it was time to look for a group, and we got so lucky because there was a group of mostly guildies that was just about to have 2 spots open up, which was perfect for us. So we headed on over there, and there was a delete to the bard, so it was great because that meant I didn't have to pull. We had Snizzle Snaps, the tank, who was also boxing the healer, which was a sham, got Bertha, which isn't always ideal to have someone in a group who's main tanking and main healing, because that could be a lot going on at the same time. We also had Bloodshot, who is a necro and one of the first in our guild that reached level 50, and we had Oakwynd the rogue as well as myself, the ranger. So we had a really good group, a good mix of classes, mostly focused on like melee, but we also had the necro in there as well, so pretty well balanced. And as you can see, we're killing outside at the Gazebo. Now the Gazebo is a good camp, and if that's one that if you're going to have to go to Unrest at these levels, that's where you want to be. Why it's relatively safe, nothing really spawns on top of you there, nothing really aggroes you in this corner, but there's loads of mobs that spawn in the area and path through the area, and it keeps the pulls relatively short, which is what you want. So although at my level now, a lot of these are like white cons or yellow cons, you know, they're not the reds, so you're not going to be getting a 3 to 4% a kill that you know ideally always want, but we're killing so many of these so fast that between the 1.5–2.5% kills that we get in through the variety of beetles, zombies, jack-o'-lantern, at least it was going well until we've been in for about an hour or so, and you know, I was level 12, well into level 12, and you know, sometimes a little bit of complacency maybe sets in, or you start getting a little bit braver, and we managed to pull a Darkbone skeleton from inside the house, which is way higher level than all of us, right? So we had a lot of trouble kind of like landing on it. Bloodshot the Necro couldn't land his spells on it. You know, we're not hitting it very hard, we're missing a lot. And then not only that, as we're pulling that, we're getting ads. So we had a couple of ads come in, a Death Beetle, a Jack-o'-lantern. So decided that while he's tanking the big Darkbone skeleton, we should burn the trash as quickly as we possibly can do. So we took out the Death Beetle, we start working on the Jack-o'-lantern. All the while this Darkbone skeleton is hitting on our tank, and the problem that we had, Delita had a train of mobs on as you can see in the background, running around there. So these mobs are, he's trying to keep them locked down as best he can, and the Darkbone skeleton is, you know, just not dying. It's going really, really slow, but it's also hitting us relatively hard. And Bertha there is running out of mana, so we're in a bit of a problem right now from the other stuff, and we've just got no mana. There's just nothing left in the tank after killing that Darkbone skeleton to kill the rest of the trash, because Delita's still got a big train out there as well. Fortunately, but the worst thing could possibly happen, Bertha goes down, so our healer is down, and without any heals, you know, we're going to do as best we can while we try and get Bertha back into us. So we're trying to kill the remainder. Schnizzle Snaps is low, Bloodshot is low. We are running on empty right now, but we're doing what we can. So we think, okay, we're in the clear. We've got everything down. Delita still has a massive train, but without our healer, there's nothing we can do. You know, we got a zone at this point, so we make the call to run to the zone and to safety, which thankfully we were able to do. But that was a close one. But good, we got the Darkbone down. So it takes us about 5 minutes to get Bertha back from bind, and we're ready to go again. But at this time, it's getting late, so we keep killing. But I can feel myself just getting tired after a whole long day of EQ. But I power through, and we keep killing in the Gazebo area, and I hit level 14, so I was really happy with that, and thought, you know what, that's not bad, and not a bad spot to finish a few hours in Unrest and a few levels down. So we hit level 14, and I get out of that, and I call it a night. So I did a little bit more leveling in the courtyard and managed to get to level 17. It was very nondescript. It was just the killing of the bugs and the zombies and all that kind of good stuff outside. And then I decided, okay, level 17, kind of past courtyard now. I need to find myself a group that's happening in the house. Get a group really, really quick in the main room in Unrest. So of course I'm going to head over there, and I head over there, and I think I joined this group at a really bad time. There's mobs everywhere, there's a dead Hank, you know, it's all going down, but we managed to clean up and get it cleared really, really nicely. And there's a mage, there's an enchanter in there, paladin, a cleric healer, so you know, the makings of a good and solid group. So after we cleaned up, it's time to find out kind of what role I'm going to be playing in this group. So of course, what the group are asking me, the ranger, to do is to pull, and I'm happy pulling. I've done it before as a monk main on Aradune. I know the zones really, really well, so I can pull, but the one thing I'm never really good at remembering is kind of what mobs I've pulled from where and when they're due to repop and things like that. So I spend a lot of time sometimes wandering around trying to find what mobs are going to pop next, and it goes pretty well for a little while. I'm pulling away, getting a couple at a time. We've got an enchanter who's mezzing, so it's all really, really good. Most of the mobs are kind of yellow to me. It's a couple of blues, but I'm getting some good experience, which is exactly what you want. And then I make the mistake of pulling Mr. Tolkar. Now, if you don't know, Mr. Tolkar is probably one of the strongest mobs in Unrest. Makes for a great enchanter pet to take upstairs to the fireplace or downstairs to the basement, but he has a lot of HP and he hits like a truck at these levels, especially when you've got no gear. So very, very quickly I'm a ranger pile on the floor. So I get back to the group and I get to have my round 2 with Tolkar, and this time no problem, we take him out easy peasy, and the killing commences yet again. I do most of the pulling. Sometimes I let the paladin do it as well. It just helps break things up just a little bit, because pulling it can be a lot of work when you're doing it for 2-3 hours at a time. But this camp main room, it went fairly easily. Loot pretty much non-existent, as you expect it to be, but the skeletons are mostly like yellows and reds. And by the end of the session, like a couple of hours later, I'm level 19, and that's where I ended up the session. It went really well, had a couple of good groups along the way today, and yesterday, so I was kind of happy where we went, like level 11 to level 19, and pretty much I think, or at least I hope, I'm done in the main room. Level 19 in the bag, almost halfway there, and the main room of Unrest completely dominated, and got my revenge on Tolkar, so I was happy with that. Where I go next, well, you'll have to stay tuned for the next video. Elsewhere, kind of what's going on Oakwynd, the guild that I'm in, Night Falls Guard. We've been doing really well. We've pretty much done everything now except Plane of Sky. Just this week we cleared all of Hate, Innerrock, we did Fear, Draco and Khazak Thul, all down on the first attempt, and that was really well done on the raid leaders for organising and putting it together, making sure everyone knew exactly what they had to do. And it's not like these raids are necessarily hard, but there are some mechanics that if you don't get right, like on Draco with the disease, they are going to wipe your raid, and it was really nice to see that we were able to get it down on the first attempt. And if you're interested in joining our guild, especially if you're a late night East Coaster or want to raid on Pacific time, link for the Discord is down below. Feel free to have a look. Might not be open for all classes at this time, but the list is down there on the Discord. Just give it a click. Other than that, I'm really still trying to grow this channel, and any likes, subscribes that you can give, I'm very much appreciative for it. The like and sub button down below, and they will let you know the next time that I make another video as I continue my Oakwynd journey. Other than that, not really seeing many bugs with the FTE. I've heard some guilds have had some issues with fears, especially on stuff like Draco Lich and Khazak Thul, and it becoming locked and wiping the raid. I haven't seen that. I've heard there are some exploits to getting around the lock on mobs. I'm hoping that they'll look at those and see if they can clean it up. But Oakwynd, I don't know, it just seems like another server right now, and that's why I was hoping that the evolving rule set would have been a little bit more, especially early on. It's the evolving rule set server, but you've given us no evolutions right now, and it would have been nice to see like greater jumps, especially on the early expansions, to keep people's interest. Had they made double plat or double loot or something along those lines instead of the little bits that we get, I'm sure that would have kept that will keep more people around as we progress through Kunark, Velius and so on. So let me know what you think down below. Are you still playing on Oakwynd? Have you given up already? Any thoughts on the rule set? Please leave a comment down below. I love reading those comments, and I try to reply to every single one of them. Other than that, I am the Brick Canuck, and I hope that you have a fantastic day.